Hello, everyone. This is James Strong. This is the CNCF SIG Networking Ingress NGINX sub-project meeting for October 26th. And that means we are a CNCF project and we adhere to the CNCF Code of Conduct. If you have any issues, please report those to myself or Ricardo or the SIG Networking lead. And with that, it's the James and Ricardo hour. You got a half hour with us, Ricardo. So what should we talk about? Probably should again remind folks about these CVEs that came out. So I saw you tweeted it. I'm going to tweet it. I'm going to put it out on the Ingress NGINX official Twitter handle that we have 3 CVEs that we've been working on. So one of the things, again, I'd like to highlight is that a lot of things happen in the background as maintainers working with SIG security and other things. So we've been working on these for a little bit, working on these remediations and getting them out. So it's not a justification, but it is one of the reasons why some things take a little bit longer, because we do have some of the severity on these. We do have to make sure that we're fixing these and getting these pushed through. There are 3, the mitigations are in there. Some of them are just upgrades. Some of them are configuration options that administrators should put in there. So some things should make sense for some of the changes that we've made now if you go read through those CVEs. So please go read through them, comment on them, comment on the fixes. And if you have any issues, please let us know in those 3 issues that we've got 10.572, 571, and 570. And with that, I guess we can go ahead. Should we talk about do we want to talk about S390X? RMCI or 110. I think S110 would go hand in hand with S390, Ricardo.
Yeah, so 110 then?
Yeah.
Okay, so 110. Let me just try. So I've been doing some experiments for 110 as an alpha attempt to have a version NGINX 125. I think we did something on the other. Let me open this docs as well. Sorry, James. But we have discussed on having 125 on 110, right? Did we?
Yeah, the changes that you made. I saw that. I was also reading through that issue where one of the community members had also compiled 125 for us.
Yeah. So my goal for 110, right? First of all, I want to continue doing the split between. I have one PR for that. It's not merged yet, but sorry.
The directory split.
Yeah, the directory split. It is one. Now it's hitting something else that I don't know which is, but my goal for 110, it's finished that because that's a prereq for splitting control plane and data plane the way that we want, at least making it easier to split, right? The second thing that I want to do for 110, it's finally fixing SSL pass-through, right? And to fix SSL pass-through, because we are using NJS on that, we will need probably to have a new version like 125 or something like that, because we are already just using NJS, right? So I have started doing some experiments trying to use the binary compilation of Alpine on 110, but I have miserable fails right now because some things they exist, some things they don't exist. So I have a branch on my own fork doing some experiments on that, but I don't expect that to be 110 ready. It's more like, can we try to change all of our shell scripts to whatever we do have on Alpine, like APK something, or getting a lot of things. But the problem is that because we have a bunch of dynamic models, we need the source code that was used to compile in NGINX. The patched one, right? At least just the source code, and getting those on Alpine, it's kind of a pain. You need to get the whole repo. There is no such things like as Debian does have it, like apt source, get source, whatever, right? So it's not that easy, and I'm not considering right now using the binary, but I am considering using version 125 and removing a bunch more stuff. which right now includes open tracing, Zipkin, Jaeger, and Datadog, and keeping just OpenTelemetry, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to use NGINX, as we've said on the last meeting that I was going to try NGINX OpenTelemetry. I'm not going to use that right now because there is no gain. It's not worth to. They still use the whole CPP compilation that we have on the OpenTelemetry. So there's not much change. The only thing that changes for us, it's just like, using NGINX instead of using the community one. So I think that for the effort that Datadog folks, they are doing to get their features on the OpenTelemetry things and as an effort on the OpenTelemetry contrib one, I would prefer to keep the OpenTelemetry official instead of using the F5 NGINX one, right? Okay. Can you hear the birds?
Let me make sure I clarify, because there's 3 OpenTelemetry images. There's the one we maintain, which is the open source upstream. NGINX has one. NGINX F5 has one. And then there's a third one, or was I missing that?
No, there is the official one from OpenTelemetry, which is not open tracing Zipkin Jaeger. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's those 3, and we're gonna keep building our own from OpenTelemetry. Yeah.
The one that is maintains for us, the one that's a third-party approach.
Yeah, and those will have Datadog. Datadog will still be able to integrate with that one, or they're still working through that?
Yeah, so Datadog today integrates, but they have some missing features. But they are contributing to the to the community one to make sure that whatever they have on Datadog will be supported on as like a flag or something like that on the community one, right? So they are working with them, and I think that's a valid approach for us.
Yeah. So I'm just making sure. Does Datadog have an open issue tracking this on OpenTelemetry's repo?
Yeah,
okay.
They do.
So when I make the release notes, I want to make it very clear for Datadog users that not all of the features will be available if you upgrade to 110. Okay. So I'll put that as an action item to find that one and make sure that that's in 110.
Yeah, let me get the issue for you. Hold on.
Okay.
Datadog. Here, there is a contrib something.
So it will still work with Datadog with the OpenTelemetry module that we have. It just won't have all of the features, and Datadog is working on that with OpenTelemetry.
Yep.
Okay.
I almost posted a bunch of code for this one.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Awesome. All right.
There's another one. The right
so
one is
we're gonna release 110 as an alpha within the NGINX 125.1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're also gonna drop 390 S390X. That's
so yeah, I think we still should discuss that. Like, if we can compile with S390, if we can compile with S390X and NGINX and all of the things, I would just say, hey, we did the compilation, but this may fail, right? So it may have problems. We don't support it. We just compile that for you. If it starts to be painful for us, I think we should probably drop it and maybe do some third-party S390 compilation. It's like we don't give you guarantees on that it's gonna follow the same release right now, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do we want to do like a release branch just for S390? So if folks want to help maintain that, we can, and backport fixes as needed? Or is that too much more effort on us?
I think that's too much effort. Honestly, we are already getting hit by the amount of branches that we have, right? So one more would be just more pain for us right now.
Yep. And then when we release 110, we're gonna delete the 1.8 branch, right? Because we won't be patching that anymore. Because we're just patching 2 at a time. Or do we want to keep running it with 3? I don't remember because I know with Kubernetes versions we're doing the same thing upstream as n-3, but I think our CI tests 4 now.
Yeah, I think
Actually,
that testing for it's fine for us.
okay. But for as far as patch releases, do we want to continue with just 2? So like 110 and 1.9?
Yeah. Otherwise, we're gonna get crazy.
Yeah. Well, 1.8. Do we want to keep 1.8 still because of the big change? Is it annotation validation that we turned to true?
Yeah, no.
Um,
The thing that returned it to true on 1.9 was the snippet, disabling snippet.
yeah, disabling snippets.
But it's just like enable again, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think we should honestly keep all of those versions.
Okay.
We should, otherwise they're gonna just, unless we have like 10 more people just maintaining the branches and doing cherry picks, right? Because
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
the problem is the cherry picks because I know I just
mm,
put in a fix for there was a fix for one of the Helm charts that didn't get picked up for 194. Okay. Okay. So 110, 1.9, we'll maintain 2 branches. On that, we've talked about S390, we've talked about 110, we're going to release it as a beta. We've talked
mhm.
about the CVEs. Um, and you said you had a half hour. Do you want to do some triage for 10 minutes?
Yeah, sure.
Fun.
Well, we
Um,
have, so we just had that thing, so that we wanted to record. So Alex Ellis from OpenFAS and self-actuated. He opened, apparently he's making self-actuated available for CNCF projects, and he reached me on Twitter to discuss about using that on our CI. I think it would be great. First of all, to support even like Alex and give him some data on self-actuated things, and I think that's a great project. And Alex, he's like a great person, knows a lot of that thing. And Alex told me that there should be a good improvement on ARM compilation on our side. I just need to understand a bit more how this works, and I think it's worth to. So I will try to make sure that Alex can come and tell us on the next meeting maybe how this works, or if he's at KubeCon, we just sit down with him and take a look and see how this can work for Ingress NGINX, right? And this brings me to another subject, which is I've been actively discussing with Kubernetes actually with GitHub admins. This is kind of stuck right now, but I will bring again because I want to use a GitHub container registry for our intermediate images instead of just doing into the official one and then promoting and then coming back and doing all of those maneuvering for things that are intermediate, right? So yeah.
yeah, and that's what we talked about, just being able to release nightly builds.
Yeah.
See the CVE fixes, because then all we need to do is just cut a release. I'm down for that. Again, just need to make sure that when we put that out there, I don't know, do we just add like a nightly tag to it? And then like nightly or put a date and just make sure that folks, if you're using the nightly build, it is experimental, don't use it in production, all of the other fun jazz.
The last commit maybe, you know, because if the commit didn't change it from one night to the other, we can just keep it.
Yeah, I was gonna say we just rebuild main at head nightly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And yeah, so we'll do the same thing for the Helm chart as well.
Yeah, Helm charts, they are a bit. I don't know
That's a
how we could do because of the artifact hubs, right? So
yeah, we don't want to release. Um, well, we can still test it, and you can pull it from head, so we don't have to actually release it. We can still run the Helm CI tests nightly. Okay. All right. Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of that. And that's just getting the CNCF GitHub admins to allow us to push to GHCR. Okay. That's another, I've got that listed. I see the first one that came through. I was just looking at this on my way back from from my errands. This one seems like it is an actual bug, but I don't know. You wrote the annotation validation and the regex stuff. It looks like somebody has annotation validation turned on, and it's throwing an error with their regex. So this is the regex. That looks pretty simple and straightforward. That should be allowed. I don't know. Yeah, so auth TLS match CN.
Yeah, we should just point them to the right regex and tell them to change on the annotation. Probably it would work better.
You see that this one
Just
isn't
set up
matched
there.
because we can just go straight to the annotation, right? Because the annotation, it has the regex defined there, right?
Yeah, that's part of the structure. Exactly.
I think we had another issue, and I have another question about it. It might have been Slack. I haven't opened up a GitHub issue. Is there a way for us to, in the documentation, to generate all of the what the annotation validations are doing, like what it's looking at? Because I know you set up a whole new data structure for the validations. I'm wondering if there's a way for us, instead of having folks go look at code, okay, is there something we can do in the docs to pull that out? I don't know whether
Yeah. I mean, I had this on my QB actually. I have posted that even today on the Slack channel, right? Yeah, that's what you say. That we need a script to generate the. I want to have something that generates the documentation for all of those things automatically. Yeah, I just don't have the open issue for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say something already generates. It just pulls the annotations and the comment on what the annotation does. If we just add it to have it pull the validation and just have it dump in the docs as well, that would be super helpful. Because I know we can always just dive deep into the code. But yeah, let me go ahead and I'll take that action item just to open that issue, and I'll post that one there. But I can follow up. I'll look into what the auth match CN regex is and see if it should match the one. I think he put in examples. So let me do that. Let me put this action item. Okay. Go back to top of the queue. Cores failed due to lots of domain names added in cores allowed origin. I bet that's going to be a version or a size issue. Always when we have issues with headers or anything, right? It's the size of the header, right? And what's lots of domains? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I wonder if there's do you know if there's a size? There's a size limitation to these, right? Because those are strings, but also just HTTP. I'm sure there's a size limit to how big this can be.
Yeah, I think this is a limit from annotations, maybe.
3.4, so 3,000 character limit. Oh, yeah, so it's just too big. They have to split it out. There's nothing we can do because that's probably an HTTP restriction.
And yeah, they want us to support regex, but honestly, I don't think this is like super high priority if someone wants to implement.
I also, again,
And it's gonna be a
they're
yeah, go for
skirting a
it.
security requirement.
Yeah.
Like if we add a regex to cores, that's going to open up another security issue. I don't think we should allow this.
That's right.
Okay. I'll write a follow-up. We already have enough security issues with regexes and allowing unstructured code to run. I don't want to introduce more. Especially with cores. There's a whole reason why you have that. I'll look a little bit more into that. I'll sign this one myself.
Cool.
Fun. So how long do we keep these open? Because those are the next ones. Should we just we have the mitigation, and if we close them, people can still comment on them. I don't know how I don't know what our operating procedure is on the CVE stuff.
I think we can close, but let's page CJ on maybe on Slack. What do you think? Like, hey CJ, what do you want? Do you want us for this from us? No.
Yeah. Okay.
CJ is a nice person.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's been super helpful with all of this.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. How do I insert server snippet before all ingress locations? That's
I think there is a config map for that.
the server snippet is created after all other locations of the site. I guess that's just how it gets. Well, that's NGINX, right? NGINX orders it in the config, and then it just does shortest map or shortest match, right? So it doesn't matter where it's at in the list. The location's admin star, API star restricted to whitelist. Then the location star of the ingress of the service. The last location is coming from the server snippet is never used. I don't know if this is an issue. Because if he has ingresses for admin and API, location star of the ingress of the service. So does he have, I don't know what it means by whitelist of source here. As in those are IP protected? Is that what he's meaning here?
I think this is like a template. That's how actually we add this to the template, maybe. So he should just change the template to whatever he wants and move that to the top, right? And recompile their own container.
Well, you can provide your own NGINX template, can't you, in the config map?
You can. Yeah. You just need to mount on that. Yeah. So hold on. Let me send that to you and then drop because I have this other meeting.
Yeah. I'll put in the follow-ups for these.
What's the hold on? That's a snippet, right?
Yeah, server snippet.
Server snippet, HTTP snippet. And he says it's above it's on the bottom of the locations. Yeah,
But
so
NGINX is gonna do the match.
Yeah, he needs to move this thing to the top and not to the bottom. Before the server name, there is this template server.
Yeah.
And then our server, yeah. And he just needs to move this to before line 677.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'll do the follow-ups on those three and I'll open up those issues. I'll work through these follow-ups in the next half hour and we won't do those on the talk. And then I'll schedule some time with us probably on Saturday to talk more about our KubeCon talk. Awesome. Thanks,
Cool.
Ricardo.
Yeah, let's so you mean on Saturday when we arrive at Chicago, right?
Yeah,
Not
I'll get
this
started.
Saturday.
Yeah, I think the big thing was I was just gonna I was gonna make sure we talk about the CVE stuff that just happened. The 2.0 changes, I want to solidify those. I want to talk about that. And just continue with the deprecation stuff. And we can ask the crowd too about S390X. Maybe just do it on an unofficial poll.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds
All
good.
right. Thanks.
Yeah, bye.
Bye, everyone.